in our health, because it can actually either affect us positively or negatively. I am Osrc Munilari, and today on health and environment insights, we are going to be talking about the improper, indiscriminate waste disposal, illegal waste dump, and the prevalence of Lassa fever in Ondo State. But I have a special guest with me in the person of Mr. Olakunbu Adekunle, who is the Director, Planning, Research, and Statistics on Ondo State Waste Management. Waste Management Board. Good day, sir. It's nice to have you on the program.
Good morning.
Yes.
Presenter.
Yes.
And Fias Ato. Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. Just like the topic says, indiscriminate waste disposal, we are going to start from there. Sir, please, can you take us through what indiscriminate waste disposal is?
Yes, the issue of waste is everybody's business. So, and if we take it as it is everybody has responsibility to manage the waste. So the issue of indiscriminate comes in when we fail to manage it adequately. In those days, the adage says, when you sweep inside, outside, you turn everything to the backyard. In Yoruba, they say atom. But these days, it has modified, modernized to, if you sweep, if you generate waste, you turn it into a dustbin. Dustbin now is a safe place for waste before collection. So indiscriminate comes in when you just generate waste and you fail to manage it, to keep it, to store it, to manage it properly, and you litter it anyhow. It becomes indiscriminate. Yes, it becomes indiscriminate, and it has its inherent effects on the environment and on our health.
I like the way you analyzed it. It said indiscriminate comes in when you fail to manage this the waste and the dump, manage it properly. So I like that. So that brings us to, okay, so now we know it's just like you said then when you pack your dirt, you take it to the back. But now there are ways that you actually dispose your dirt. But when you fail to do it that way, that is where the word indiscriminate comes in. Before we go further, I would like to know, because I think this is something that is affecting us, just like you said, our environment plays a major role in our health. So that brings us to, is it an offense to dispose waste indiscriminately?
Yes, it is an offense.
It is an offense.
Even in Ondo State Waste Management Law, it is an offense to dispose of waste indiscriminately. The law has made provision that when you generate your waste, you store it in a dustbin, awaiting the people that government has assigned to come and evacuate those waste. Even the offense starts from failure to provide a dustbin in your premises. That is section 9, subsection 1 of Ondo State Waste Management Law. That if you fail to provide a prescribed dustbin in your premises, it is an offense and it is punishable under the law. Failure to make use of that dustbin is an offense. Some will procure dustbin, keep it, they won't put it to use for the adequate purpose they have purchased it for. It's an offense. Or for not having dustbin at all, just do it as you like. It's an offense under the law. Thank you.
So one thing is to have the waste bin, another thing is to make good use of it. We never knew, we thought, oh, maybe it is just when we drop our dirt or refuse anyhow, that is what is the only offense. So it is an offense if you do not have a waste bin in your premises. It is also an offense if you have the waste bin and you refuse to make good use of it. And it is also an offense if you don't also you need to just utilize it basically. So it's an okay. Now the question is, what is the penalty for such offenders?
Yes, it varies, and it depends on the
gravity
of the offense and the discretion of the sitting magistrate. But the law provides that the failure to provide a prescribed dustbin in your premises, it attracts penalties of 3 months imprisonment, even without option of fine. At times, it can be a fine without, and the law will compel you to procure that dustbin, even having paying fines. At times, it ranges from 5,000, 10,000. And that's why I say it is discretionary.
It's at the discretion.
So, and it attracts a fine of a sentence to 3 months imprisonment, and the court will compel the offender to procure that dustbin before leaving the court premises.
Okay, we learn every day. I hope you see that these things that we actually take, that it's actually nothing, it's actually a great offense, and you can go to prison for 3 months. Imagine being in a confined space for 3 months just because you decided to dump your refuse illegally. So yes, you need to actually take note of that. And that brings us to the effect of indiscriminate waste disposal to the environment.
Yes, the adage says what you give to the environment
is what it gives back to you.
What it gives back to us. And another adage says what goes around comes around. So whatever you give to your environment, so definitely be expecting. Only respect is reciprocal. So whatever you give to your environment, be expecting such to come back to you. If you do good, do the needful, taking care of your environment, be rest assured of enjoying free breeze, good breeze, healthy environment, the smell, the fresh air. All those things will come back to you. But if you do otherwise and throw dirty around you, be expecting bad odor, offensive odor, unsightliness in your environment, even sickness.
Of course.
Come thereafter, because you have messed up the environment and you will not be feel healthy in the environment. So putting dirt in your environment, you are creating unsightliness in the environment. The people that see that place, it will not be sightful for them to see, to behold dirty things, and it will become an eyesore. So all these ways can even also lead to some environmental disasters and hazards, like creating flooding, and a lot of, at times it can lead to outbreak of diseases and all the sorts.
You know, just like you said, outbreak of diseases. And that's going to take us to how this indiscriminate waste disposal also affects our health. You know, we just spoke about how it affects the environment. And we talked about it can cause flooding, you don't have, you can't breathe, it pollutes the environment, pollutes the air, and everything.
Pollute the water.
Yes. So now, how does it affect us directly now in terms of our health?
Yes. If, as we said, that it pollutes the air, when you release substances into the atmosphere, bear in mind that all these substances and the oxygen we're breathing,
just like you said, what you take out is what you come back to you.
So when you release those substances to the atmosphere, dirty thing whatsoever, it will go to air and you take it back as an oxygen into your system. Directly or indirectly, you are accumulating some chemical into your body system, which can later biomagnify and become diseases and become sickness to your body. Take of water that you drink. If you pour dirty things on ground and percolates, gets the substance to the water level, and you take the water you drink, it comes back to you again and affect your system. So take for instance, another case is issue of these sicknesses. If you mess up your environment, it can grow some organism that can affect your system, or grow some carriers, agents like mosquito, cockroaches, all these rats that carries this microorganism from their wherever they are to your abode, where you can contact these diseases and it will affect your health.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. And you know, we've spoken about how it affects our environment, we've spoken about how it affects our health, and we've also spoken about the penalties and that it's actually a criminal, that it's an offense to dispose your refuse indiscriminately. So yes, now we're going to talk about okay, what are those now we're talking about indiscriminate dumping of refuse. Now the thing is, what are those practices? How would they know that they are not disposing this refuse properly? How do they know? What are those things that are common around that people do and people should abstain from?
Yes, there is some practices that are common among our people. Is when they generate their waste, they just throw it anyhow. We call that one litter. If you unwrap your sweet, you take the substance, the wrapper, you throw it anyhow. It's an habit that need to be controlled. At that point, you are generating waste. So you must bear the culture of managing those waste right from the point of generation. If you unwrap anything, if you buy Maggi from market, you want to cook soup, you unwrap Maggi, you unwrap salt, you unwrap. As the point of unwrapping it, you should get your dustbin beside you. Putting it inside dustbin, not bare floor that can litter, that can become. And even having put it inside dustbin, the other practice that follows is that, okay, when trains is about falling, people will carry the waste. Okay, I want to evade payment of waste collection. They go and pour it in canal, where when rain falls, it will block the drainages and it will cause flooding in our environment, which is disastrous as we know. So the habit of pour waste into undesignated places, drainages, vacant plots, abandoned along the highways, those are habits that should be desist from. We have to stop it. If really we want our community to be good and want our best for our state, all these habits, indiscriminate dumping into public drains, public places, abandoned plots along the highways, should be stopped.
I think it's a common practice.
It's a common practice.
Yes. And I think it needs to be stopped, because driving around, you see people along the highway, they dump refuse on it. Along, even when it's raining, that is when people know, oh, it's raining, it's time for us to dispose our waste. That is very wrong. You see everybody, they are running, they are throwing it into the drainage. It is a very wrong practice, because it's just like Mr. Olajumbo Adekunle said, whatever you put out there is going to come back to you. Now it's raining and you are throwing your dirt inside the drainage. It's going to block somewhere at the front, and this is going to cause flooding. When it starts raining, the water that is supposed to flow into the moat is going to get stuck in the drainage, and before you know, it start coming into your apartment, it start coming into your house, and you start crying, and they'll say it's the government comes to our aid. Yes, the government should come into our aid, but we also need to take charge of the things that we do, because sometimes we are the one even creating this environmental hazards for ourselves, and we need to stop those practices. Stop dumping your waste inside the drainage. Stop it. Stop dumping your waste along express roads or empty land. I think that's another practice they do now. When they just see a plot of land that is empty, oh, that is the next target. No, you have to wait for, you need to get a dustbin. Make use, one thing is to get a dustbin, another thing is to make good use of the dustbin. Just because you have a dustbin doesn't mean you have to trash your dirt on the floor. No, you take it and you trash it in the dustbin, and then you wait for the designated, I think we have one of those state waste management board. They will come and pick this. And
they assign PSPs.
Okay, so would you like to talk more on that?
Yes, we have designated some PSP, registered PSP, with the government. Government cannot do it alone.
Yes.
The state is big, and so we have investors. We call them private sector participants in waste collection, in waste management business. So we register these people, come with your truck, we assign an area for you. We call it zones. So we allocated a zone for you where you go on regular basis to collect all this waste from the
designated location.
And you collect your revenue from the waste collected from the people.
Okay, so you can see the government is trying. You need to also play your own part. All right, the program continues, and thank you very much. You've actually said so much. And let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll talk more on this topic. The program continues, so just hold on. Welcome back. It's still Health and Environment Insight, and the topic is indiscriminate waste disposal, illegal waste dump, and the prevalence of Lassa fever in our state. And we've talked about what indiscriminate waste disposal is about, the effect to our environment, the effect to us in terms of our health, and then it's actually an offense, and there are penalties for offenders. And we also were talking about some habits that we should abstain from as residents of this of a community or wherever you're staying. As a resident, there are some practices we need to abstain from. And before we went on the break, we were talking about the right things to do. You know, we already talked about, oh, these are the things that you need to stop. So please, can you talk to us about what we need to do? We were talking about the designated, the PSP. All right, so please, sir, we should still talk more on that.
Yes.
One thing is to tell them what you are doing is wrong. Another thing is to tell them, now do this thing.
Yes, sir. Thank you, presenter. Okay. You recall I said the issue of waste management is our collective responsibility.
Yes.
So for the people, the masses at home, their responsibility starts from taking care of the environment because they are the generator of this waste. So, and the management of this waste starts from the generator, the source. Yeah. So their responsibility starts from, they should take care of the environment, they should avoid litters. 2, they should get a prescribed dustbin. When they sweep the environment, store this their waste into a dustbin, awaiting the assigned waste refuse collector in their various zones to come and assign as scheduled, and they should ensure that they should pay regularly to this PSP as they are billed. We call it service charges. Okay. As they are servicing you, you're paying them token at the end of the month. So it is the responsibility of the community people to pay their refuse bill as at Wednesday. So those are the generating waste and store it in the prescribed dustbin, give it to the assigned PSP, and paying regularly to this PSP as the responsibility of the
okay, thank you very much. Now, okay, for let's say an apartment or a building, how do they locate this PSP? Yes. How do they know? How do they get in touch with them?
We have, as in Waste Management Authority, we have, like in Akure, we have divided Akure into smaller units called zones. So this smaller unit is having about 1,000 properties. So we'll give it to the company to be managed. So whosoever that has no PSP in the area should contact us. Like in Akure, we are having about 60 zones. Okay. Presently, we have over 35 PSP working company. But there are still some area that are yet to get all this company. So if your zone, your area, you fall within that area, they can contact our agency, the State Waste Management Authority. Okay. As soon as we are having all these PSP, we assign them to
those locations that they've not got
yes,
into
and
yet.
I'm seizing this opportunity to woo well-meaning Nigeria to come and invest in waste business. it's a very lucrative business. There are a promising return on your investment.
Okay. that's nice. Just like we've been talking about this, there's an unsaid or unspoken relationship between our health and our environment. And there's currently a widespread of Lassa fever. Everybody's complaining Lassa fever. But do you know that there are some practices that you are actually involving in that can even breed these rodents that are carriers of this Lassa fever? And that still brings us to what can we do? I think we will still be talking about it. Like, what can we do to still prevent the spread of Lassa fever?
Yes, Lassa fever is a sanitation-related sickness disease. So, and if you put sanitation out of Lassa fever, I think
it weakens it.
Definitely, you are having the cases to
be reduced.
Yes. So, what we are saying in essence is that we should inculcate the good habit of hygiene, good sanitation, by taking care of our environment, store our waste into a dustbin. Research let us know that all these rats feed on
dirt. That's where they get their strength and power.
That is where, and as human beings, when we eat, all the remnants waste from our, we just put it somewhere.
Yes.
At night, during their own period, during their own time to walk around,
they go and feed.
Yes, they walk on those remnants, they feed on it, and they get strength. They will be able to produce more, where they will carry all these sicknesses and diseases to our neighborhood. So we are encouraging the citizens to inculcate the good sanitation habit to curb the spread of producing these mammaton rodents that carry this organism into our neighborhood.
Okay, thank you so much. I remember while growing up, my grandma would tell me that when birds are coming into your house, you know that there's lots of food for them to eat. That is why. So when you see these rodents, these rats, it is the dirt that they feed on. When there is no dirt in your compound, your environment, or I think some people even go as far as storing dirt inside their kitchen. You need to dispose them. When those dirts are available, those rats are inviting them. It's just like you're telling them, come, let's feast.
And so I'm inviting rodents to invite sicknesses because they are the carrier of all those diseases.
Yes. Now imagine this: your environment is attractive to them because they know when they come there is always something to feast on. And when they are in that environment, imagine you have food items that are not even properly closed, that are not properly covered. And when they've actually feasted on dirt, they will come to your food and put their mouth on it. And that's how you see the cases of Lassa fever is spreading. Just like Mr. Adenkule has said to us, he said, whatever you put out there is what is going to come back to you. And Lassa fever it's a sanitation related disease. If you can actually be very hygienic, if your sanitation is good, you will see there will be the cases of Lassa fever, it would be reduced. So let's do well in organizing our space, ensure that our space is very clean at all times. Stop keeping dirt inside your kitchen, stop keeping dirt inside your compound. Have a waste bin, have a dust bin, and when you are done for the day, whatever it is that you've gathered so far, throw it inside. And just like he has said, look for this PSP. Am I correct, sir? Yes, look for this PSP. They should come and maybe I think maybe they run every 2 weeks or I don't know how they run, but then
the practice is weekly basis.
Weekly, okay, you can see.
Coming to your premises on weekly basis.
On weekly basis.
Believing that the dustbin that you are using should accommodate your waste for 7 days.
For 7 days.
So, and it should be tight fitted, so that it will not allow all these rodents,
to go in,
flies, and cockroaches to come and feed. So it must be tight fitted, and the size must be accommodating with the number of household you are having. So the PSP are expected to come to your place once in a week. So at least once in 7 days.
Once in
so
7 days. That's
in
actually
a month,
a good one.
3 to 4.
3 to 4 times
Yes.
in a month. Okay. Okay. Now, I want, since the introduction of this PSP, how effective has it been so far?
To reasonable extent, there have been an improvement.
There's an improvement
Yes,
in
and,
sanitation.
yes, and we hope we improve more.
Okay.
When there are people collecting this waste, the city begins to clean.
Yes.
But when there are no people to collect the waste we cannot do without it. It's a daily activity. As human is existing, waste will continue to generate. So as soon as we are generating this waste, there must be a means of getting rid of them.
Yes.
The means of getting rid of them is to having collectors. And if these collectors are not coming, then we are having issue. But thank God, relatively, the city is clean and we are having more of them coming. We register them, we give them some area, and they go and operate.
Okay, sir. Would you like to maybe give some advice to those of them that are watching? Give us your just advise them.
Yes.
Advice and comments.
We have been saying what goes around comes around. So put good things in your environment so that your environment will return good things unto you. Like do the right thing by generating your waste, store it in the appropriate dustbin, awaiting the PSP or assign waste collector to come and pick it. Don't carry your waste. It's even a burden for you to carry your waste to a far distance to go and pour inside on the drainages or inside the bush or on the highway. It's stressful. How much are you going to pay? Pay your money at your convenience. You will come to your house, carry your waste, and you will all live better for it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. It's been a nice time having you on the program. I've actually learned a lot, and I'm very sure that our viewers, they've learned a lot. I hope next time when we invite you to come and, shed more light on topics. All right, thank you so much. It's still health and environment inside, and I hope you all have learned a lot. I have actually learned a lot. Ensure to do things the right way. Do not dump your refuse indiscriminately. They are assigned, use dustbin, and then ensure that you are registered with one of these PSPs so they can actually take your waste to they can actually take your waste for you. You don't have to go through the stress of dumping it inside the drainage or going to abandoned sites or even on the major roads. So you need to abstain from that. All right, it's Iso Samunilari, and until next week, we'll see you again on another intro.